Namaste students, welcome to English class. In the last week's video, you learned the lesson Children at Work. This lesson was written by Geeta Wolf and Anushka Ravishankar. It centered on two children named Velu and Jaya. Velu is a village boy who ran away from his home, and Jaya is a local girl. This lesson, even though it was a fictional story, gave us an insight into the life of the child laborers in India. There are about 11 million child laborers in India, and the story is written with the intention of creating awareness to the reader about child labor and also make the reader empathize with the difficult life of the child laborers. Now, without learning on hand, let's learn the writing comprehension poster making based on child labor in India. We are going to create a poster based on child labor in India. Before that, let's learn the rules for designing a poster. A poster is a piece of printed paper designed to be attached to a wall. We have seen posters for movies and also products and shops. It is usually attached, pasted on a wall. So posters include both text or graphic elements. The graphic elements is the picture or sketch of a product or a movie also. It has also some textual elements like slogans, contact details, venues, etc. They are designed to be both eye-catching and informative. They should be attractive as well as informative. Posters may be used for various purposes such as advertising, invitation, or spreading awareness. Let's see the points to consider when we are designing a poster. A poster should include the following. It should have box, heading, name of the organization or company or even the individual along with its logo. Images or sketches are the major part of a poster, so it should be very attractive. A poster should have catchy slogans because it is very minimal in its words. It is only visual, so it should have catchy slogans to give the information to the viewer. In case of an invitation for an event, it should have date, time and venue of the event and also the contact details of the organizers of the event. The information given should be very concrete and also the message should be very clear. A poster should be neat and tidy. And there is a word limit for a poster. It should not exceed a limit of 50 words. Now let's see some samples posters to get a better idea. This poster is an advertising poster for a product. As you can see, they have a picture and the name of the product, and it has some catchy slogans also. It is very colorful and very attractive. The second one is an invitation to an event. There are some pictures and also the name of the event on the poster. It should have the date, time and venue of the event and also the contact information of the organizers of the event. So everything should be very clear and very short in a poster. So the third one is awareness poster. It need not to have a date, time or venue, unless it is for a march or a marathon. So this poster you are seeing is for water conservation. It is very pictorial and uses very minimum of words. There are some slogans in it: save every drop, our world depends on it. So it should be very short, very concrete to the intended message. And it is also another poster for creating awareness for environmental crisis. Save the environment and mend your ways and say no to pollution. These are the only words used in the poster. Otherwise, it is a very graphical representation of the message. So there is a exercise. There is an exercise given to you. You should copy it in your composition note. Use color wherever necessary and draw the pictures very neatly on your composition note. Now the second part of the video is Macavity the Mystery Cat. This poem is from your book Honeydew, and it is the third poem in your book Macavity the Mystery Cat. This poem is written by T.S. Eliot. Thomas Stearns Eliot is his full name, and he was born in Missouri, USA on September 26, 1888. And he moved to London and became a British citizen at the age of 39. And he died in London in 1965. He is a very well-known modern poet of English literature, and his poems are very widely considered as a masterpiece. Especially The Waste Land is unanimously praised as a piece of modern poetry. The poem Macavity the Mystery Cat is taken from the book Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats. This is the only book written for children by T.S. Eliot. He usually don't write for children, but this is an only exception. Now let's see what the poet has to say about the cat Macavity. Many of us have had pets in our life. So when we have pets, we get to know about them as we get used to them. A dog is very loyal to its owner. It protects them, it accompanies them, and it is actually a very loyal animal to the owner. But a cat is not like a dog. It is a very different animal because it gets attached to its owner, but it is at the same time very sneaky in its attitude. But the poet uses many words for describing the cat Macavity. He goes a bit far and calls him many other things. And let's see how he justifies the words that he is using to describe the cat. Let's read the in full and then I will give you the explanation stanza wise. Macavity is a mystery cat. He is called the Hidden Paw, for he is the master criminal who can defy the law. He is the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair. For when they reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity. He's broken every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. His power of levitation would make a fakir stare. And when you reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. You may seek him in the basement, you may look up in the air, but I tell you once and once again, Macavity is not there. Macavity is a ginger cat. He is very tall and thin. You would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken in. His brow is deeply lined with thought. His head is highly domed. His coat is dusty from neglect, his whiskers are uncombed. He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake, and when you think he's half asleep, he's always wide awake. Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity. For he is a fiend in feline shape, a monster of depravity. You may meet him in a by street, you may see him in the square, but when his crime is discovered, then Macavity is not there. T.S. Eliot. Now, the poem given for us is divided into four stanzas. A first stanza is of 4 lines. A 4 line stanza is called as a quatrain. It is followed by a 6 line stanza. A 6 line stanza is called as a sestet. And again it is followed by another sestet and it ends with the quatrain. Now let's analyze the poem stanza wise. Macavity is a mystery cat. He is called the hidden paw, for he is the master criminal who can defy the law. He is the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair. For when they reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. What is the meaning for mystery? Anything that is kept secret or remains unexplained or unknown. So Macavity is a very secretive and an enigmatic figure. The meaning for defy is he refuses to obey the law. Bafflement. What is the meaning for bafflement? To confuse or perplex. And despair is the complete loss of hope. So the summary of the first stanza is the poem is about a cat called Macavity. He is also called the Hidden Paw. His pet name is Hidden Paw. The cat is a great criminal. He has openly disobeyed the law. The Scotland Yard. Scotland Yard is the police force of London. The Scotland Yard is helpless before Macavity. They cannot catch him. Sometimes the flying squad runs after it. However, the squad is always disappointed because they cannot find the cat. Macavity moves much faster than the flying squad. So what do we get here? What is the picture that we get from this stanza? So Macavity is a great criminal and he is the one disobeying the law. And he outwits Scotland Yard as well as flying squad. He is uncatchable to those police forces. Now let's go on to the second stanza. Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity. He's broken every human law, he breaks the law of gravity. His powers of levitation would make a fakir stare. And when you reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. You may seek him in the basement, you may look up in the air, but I tell you once and once again, Macavity is not there. What is levitation? Levitation is the ability to rise and float in the air. Seek means search for and find someone. They are searching for someone. So this is a fakir floating in the air. Fakir is also a sadhu or an religious recluse who has the ability to float in the air. The poet says that the cat Macavity has the power of levitation. The second stanza tells us that the poet is sure that there has been no creature like Macavity. So the Macavity cat is very unique. And he has broken not only human laws but also the laws of nature. He floats in the air without any support, thus he breaks the nature's law of gravitation. So he floats in the air as he breaks the law of gravitation. The fakirs, the religious recluses, are supposed to have some magical powers, but they are staring upon the power of Macavity as in disbelief. And yet, the wonder of wonders is that when one rushes to the scene of crime, Macavity is not found. So, when a scene of crime is discovered, Macavity is nowhere to be found on the scene. Those who look after him find him neither in the basement. You may seek him in the basement, or you may seek him in the air, but you cannot find him because McCavity is not there. So McCavity is very untraceable and he seems to be invincible. Now let's see the third stanza of this poem. McCavity is a ginger cat. He is very tall and thin. You would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken in. His brow is deeply lined with thought. His head is highly domed. His coat is dusty from neglect. His whiskers are uncombed. He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake. And when you think he is half asleep, he is always wide awake. So the picture we get here is McCavity is a very alert cat, and the appearance of the cat is given here. What is the meaning of sunken? Sunken is a lower level than the surrounding area, at a immersed level. Neglect, fail to give proper care. So this is actually the whiskers of a cat. The facial hair is called the whiskers of a cat. McCavity is a very special cat. He is very tall and thin. He is very tall and he is also very lean. It is very easy to recognize him because his eyes are sunken in. It is a bit inside his head. His brow has deep wrinkles as if he is lost in deep thoughts. His are having deep wrinkles as if he is thinking about something very deeply. Due to constant neglect, his skin is full of dust. The coat they are mentioning is the skin of the cat. So it is full of dust. You will find him swaying his head from side to side just as a snake does. His movement will be just as a snake's move from side to side. He is an expert cheat. When you think he is asleep, he may make you believe that he is asleep, but only he is dozing. In fact, McCavity is always alert. He is a very alert cat. So we have seen about McCavity. He is a great criminal, and also he has the power to levitate in the air, and it will make the fuck his chair also. And he has broken not only human law, also the laws of gravity. And now we have seen the appearance of the cat. It is a ginger cat and very tall and thin. He is not a very neat and tidy cat. It is a very untidy and filthy cat. His whiskers are uncombed and his coat is very dusty. Now let's see the last stanza of this poem. McCavity, there is no one like McCavity, for he is a fiend in feline shape, a monster of depravity. You may meet him in a by street, you may see him in the square, but when a crime is discovered, then McCavity is not there. So fiend is demon or a cruel person. Feline is a cat or other animals that belong to the cat family. Depravity means moral corruption. So what is the last stanza? Tells us that McCavity is very unique and he is evil incarnate. He is the epitome of evil. He is the embodiment of evil nature. Ordinarily, you can find him anywhere. He can be seen as a very normal person in a by street or in a square. However, when you want to punish him for a crime, but when his crime is discovered, he is nowhere to be seen. McCavity is not there. He has already escaped from the police. So with that, we have come to the end of the poem. Now, what we have learned from this poem? McCavity, he is the hidden paw. He is the master criminal who has broken every law. He is the bafflement of the Scotland Yard. Scotland Yard is considered as the best police force in the world. but he is the bafflement of that Scotland Yard, and he is also the flying squad's despair. They are also clueless about McCavity. And he also broke the law of gravity. Not only human laws, he also broke the law of gravity. His powers of levitation makes a fakir stare. And we get a description of the cat McCavity. He is a ginger cat, very tall and thin. Ginger cat is an orange colored cat, is called a ginger cat. He is very tall and thin. His eyes are sunken in. His brow is deeply lined with thought, and his head is highly domed. Domed in a sense, it is very spherical in shape. And his coat is dusty from neglect, and his whiskers are uncombed. He is not a very tidy cat. And he sways his head like a snake, and when we think he is half asleep, he is always wide awake. He is a very alert cat. Now he is a fiend in feline shape. Fiend, as I told you, is a demon, monster of depravity. Depravity is moral corruption. So he is a monster of moral corruption. He has no sense of moral compass. And you may see him in a by street or in the square. He may walk like an ordinary people in a street, but when there is a crime discovered, McCavity will not be found there, because McCavity is not there. He is far away in some other place. Now let's see the poetic devices used by the poet to make this an interesting read. You have learned the poetic devices in the previous poems also, but let's reiterate for a better understanding. First, let's see the rhyming scheme of the poem. The first stanza's rhyming scheme is A A B B. The last ending words pa la rhymes, so it is A A, despair there, B B. The stanza 1 is A A B B. The second stanza is McCavity gravity, A A. Stare rhymes with there, so B B. Air also rhymes with there, so it is also B. There, it also rhymes with air there, so it is also. Stanza 2 is A B B and B B. Let's see the third stanza, another sestet. The rhyme scheme is thin and in, it rhymes, so it is A. Domed is not rhyming with in, so it is B. And combed, it is rhyming with domed, so it is B and B. Snake does not rhyme with combed, so it is C. Awake rhymes with snake, so it is also C. The third stanza's rhyme scheme is A B B C C. The last stanza, another quatraint, rhyme scheme is McCavity depravity. Those two words rhyme, so it is A square there. These two words also rhymes, so it is B and B. The rhyme scheme of stanza 4 is A B B. There is a poetic device, repetition is used in this poem to emphasize the point that McCavity is always not there and there is no one like McCavity. So that is repeated to emphasize the characterization of McCavity. McCavity is not there. For when they reach the scene of crime, McCavity is not there. And when you reach the scene of crime, McCavity is not there. So there is a mention of McCavity is not there 4 times in the poem. The third time is, but I do once and once again, McCavity is not there. So the poet is emphasizing that the cat McCavity is a very clever and cunning cat. And the last line also ends with But when a crime is discovered, then McCavity is not there. So this repetition emphasizes the fact that McCavity is a very clever and cunning cat. He cannot be caught by the police. And there is another repetition. McCavity, there is no one like McCavity. It is repeated in the fourth stanza. McCavity, there is no one like McCavity. It is also emphasizing the fact that McCavity is a very unique cat. And the other poetic devices used are alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of the same consonant sounds. The same consonant sounds repeated here in the first stanza is McCavity is a mystery cat. So ma sound is repeated in the first stanza. The second stanza we have ha sound. Ha sound is repeated. He has broken every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. So these poetic devices makes it very easy for us to read and very interesting for the reader to grasp the poem. And other alliteration used in the poem are McCavity is a ginger cat. He is very tall and thin. So ta sound is repeated in the first line. You would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken him. Again, her sound is repeated in the second stanza. In the third stanza also, his brow is deeply lined with thought. His head is highly domed. His ha sound is repeated 4 times in the third line. So that is alliteration. The fifth line, the sound made by s is repeated 4 times. Sways side to side like a snake. So these literary devices makes the poem easy to read. The other one is assonance. Assonance is the repetition of the same vowel sounds. Before we consonant sounds, now it is the repetition of the same vowel sounds. The vowel sounds repeated here is cavity, then a mystery cat. A sound is repeated in the stanza 1. And also in stanza 4, meet, street, sea. E sound is repeated in the third line of stanza 4. It is called assonance. A repetition of the same vowel sound is called assonance. The other poetic devices used are simile and metaphor. Similaring two things using the words as or like. So he sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake. So his movements is like a snake. This is an example for. So two different things, movement and a snake, is compared by using the word like, with movements like a snake. In stanza 4 we have metaphor. Metaphor compares without using as or like. Those two words will not be used. A direct comparison will be made. He is a fiend. As you can see, a fiend is a demon. They have not used the words as or like, so it is a metaphor. And also a monster of depravity. So they are directly comparing McCavity to a monster. This is what a metaphor is. Now we have come to the end of the poem. In this poem, we learned about the characterization of McCavity the cat. But as you can see, there are some strong words used against the cat. He is a master criminal who can defy the law, and the Scotland Yard and Flying Squad all looking after the cat McCavity. So these are some strong words and accusations made against the cat. As I told you in the beginning, a cat is a very sneaky and cunning one, but no police is after a cat. We all know that police is not looking after a cat. So what is the poet intended when he tells us that he is a master criminal? And there are other things said of him, that he is a fiend in feline shape and monster of depravity. A cat is a pet animal, but how can a poet names him a fiend and monster? A demon and a monster is a strong word and strong accusation against a cat. So the explanation is, let's see a backstory of the poem. For us in the generation of 21st century, these characters are very special to us. Even though they are bad characters in a movie or a story, they are very complex in nature and they are very interesting to watch. So we are very fond of these characters when we watch a movie. They, when they appear on the screen, we are very excited to see them in action. So like us, these characters are very interesting and very fascinating. Thomas Eliot is, he was belong to the 20th century. For that time, the character Moriarty is a very interesting and enigmatic character. He is a bad villain character in the story Sherlock Holmes, but he is very fascinating because he is very smart and clever and he always outwits the police. So the poet Thomas Eliot has taken Moriarty as his inspiration and given all of his qualities to the cat Macavity. So that's why the poem is funny in a way. It uses anthropomorphism, which is giving an animal human qualities and make it humorous. So the poem is actually inspired by the character of Moriarty, who is from the story Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes is a detective story. In that, Moriarty is the main villain. He is actually called the criminal mastermind. As you can see, he is very tall and thin, and his head is highly domed. Also, his eyes are sunken in. So, all of the characterizations and the description, the physical appearance of the cat is based on the character Moriarty. So that's why the cat has been accused of so many things. For us, these bad characters, the villain characters are very fascinating. And for Thomas Eliot, this character was very interesting. So he modeled this poem as a homage tribute to the character. To show his admiration, he wrote this poem. As you can see, the tone of the poem is also very positive and also shows admiration. It never shows contempt towards the character. It always kind of praising the smartness of the character Macavity. So it is all that is due to the admiration he had for the character Moriarty. Even the name Macavity kind of derived from the word name Moriarty. He is called Professor Moriarty. So the word Macavity is an allusion to the name Moriarty. So now you have the information about why the poet has written the cat in a negative shade. Now you go and you take the book and read the poem again, and it will make sense, a different tone altogether. So the Macavity is the allegorical or symbolic representation of the character Moriarty in this poem. With that, we have come to the conclusion of this poem. For next week class, we will have a supplementary reader lesson, the shellfish giant, and also a grammar part, pronouns. There are 8 types of pronouns. They are personal pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, interrogative pronouns, relative pronouns, indefinite pronouns, reflexive and emphatic pronouns, reciprocal pronouns are the types of pronouns. Next week we will see in detail about them. But before that, let's learn something called an antecedent. Alison and her mother watched the hurricane on the television. So Alison is colored in green and the hurricane is a noun. A pronoun replaces a noun. So whatever is in green is the pronoun for Alison. Alison is the antecedent. And whatever is in red is the pronoun for the noun hurricane. So hurricane is the antecedent for it. So remember that, and a pronoun only works if you have an antecedent present before that. Otherwise, it will not be clear. If you don't mention antecedent in the first place, it will not make any sense to use a pronoun. And that's it for this week's class. And the classwork notes will be given to you. Copy them neatly in your classwork notes. I thank you all for watching and I wish you have a nice day. Thank you, students.